Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song by Depeche Mode called Halo. And for this to actually work out with the recording, they're tuned down a half step. So what you want to do is take your guitar and retune it. So you actually have to go back to the tuners and loosen them up with a tuner to E flat, which might say D sharp on your tuner, or B flat, which may say A sharp on your tuner, or G flat, or it may say F sharp on your tuner, or D flat, may say C sharp on your tuner, or A flat, may say G sharp on your tuner, and from the E to an E flat, or it may say D sharp on your tuner. So you're going E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, E flat instead of standard tuning. But we're going to do this lesson in standard tuning. And this is kind of cool actually. There's a really cool lick at the very beginning where you can have open E and then kind of alternate between other E notes. And there are a lot of other E notes on the guitar actually. You could play 2nd fret on the D string, open E. You could play 5th fret on the B string, you could play 7th fret on the A string, you could play 9th fret on the G string, or 12th fret on the high E string. So what you want to do is kind of find an E note and kind of work that rhythm for your intro. And you can do it between different E's, or you can even throw it in the high E. So that could be kind of a cool way to kind of intro the tune. And then there's this awesome bass line that comes in where you play open E twice, and then go to 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the low E string, open E, and then 2nd fret on the low E, and then you kind of repeat that. So you're going E, E, G, F sharp E, G, F sharp E, E, G, F sharp E, F sharp E, E, G, F sharp E, F sharp E, E, G, F sharp E, F sharp. Now check this out though, if you go to another E note, you could actually kind of work that same shape and work those same notes. You could play the E on the 7th fret on the A string, go to 10th fret on the A string, and then 9th fret on the A string for the F sharp note, and then you still got the E on the 7th fret, and you can still go back to the F sharp. So you got E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. And what can also be cool with that actually is to reinforce that lick with power chords. So if you took the 1st finger and played 9th or the 7th fret on the A string, 3rd finger on the D string on the 9th fret, those together, even with the open E, is something called E5, and it's an E5 power chord. What a power chord is where we're playing the root and the 5th of a chord, so we're actually playing an E note and a B note at the same time. And then from that E5, we're going to be going to a G5 power chord. So we take that shape and slide it up to the 10th fret and the 12th fret. So now I got 1st finger on the A string on the 10, 3rd finger on the D string on the 12, and that would be a G5 power chord. You can still kind of work this with the open E. And then if you slide that down 1 fret, that's called F sharp 5. So we got the 1st finger on the 9th fret on the D, or on the A string, 3rd finger on the 11th fret on the D string. That's kind of an F sharp 5. So you can kind of back that lick up that way. E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, E, E, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. So you want to kind of play around with that. And sometimes I like doing that with the strum pattern. One of my favorite strum patterns actually is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you can take the E5 and then kind of work that. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. And if you get really good at that strum pattern, you can kind of think that lick and kind of keep the strum pattern going. I want to add in extra downs though. So another way to do it actually would be kind of thinking that E going down, 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 up, and then a G with a down, F sharp with a down, E with a down, F sharp with a down, 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 E, G, F sharp, D, F sharp. So you want to kind of play around that, around the chords, and if you wanted to just strum a chord through that part, it would actually be an E minor chord. When we play E minor, 1st finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, and then you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor. So you can even take that strum pattern and kind of work it on the E minor for your intro. And it ends up being the four first bars actually of our verse actually is on the E minor. But then on our first verse, we end up going to a C chord of some sort. One way to play that would be working a C5 power chord, where you take 1st finger and go to the A string on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the D string on the 5th fret. And you can even strum that with the E actually. I kind of dig this song actually with kind of an E drone. And you almost got like an E minor drone around it. So you may want to try to open that up actually, or if you want a really clear sounding, you could go and just those 2 strings. Or you could even work the A string to the high E string to kind of get the C as a bass note idea, actually, or the C5 as a bass note idea. And then there are a couple other shapes actually we're going to need for the last part of our verse. Actually, we end up kind of staying on that C5 for 4 measures, and then we go back to the E5 or the E lick for 4 measures, and then we come back to the C5, and at the end we take that shape and we slide it up 2 frets. So we're on 5th fret on the A string, 3rd finger on the D string on the 7th fret for a D5 power chord, and then the bass line goes up to an E flat. And so we take that shape and kind of slide it over 1 more fret. Then now we got 6th fret on the A string and then 8th fret on the D string. That's something called an E flat 5. And if you wanted to, it sounds nasty, but I love it, is you can do that with the E string and kind of get that major 7 nastiness with the power chord going on. But that's supposed to be kind of dissonant because then it kind of resolves back to the E minor. So the nastier that E flat is, the nicer that resolution, right? So it could get really nasty at that point in the tune. So we tried our verse form actually with kind of our chord. So we tried that verse with our strum pattern. We got E minor with a down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, up, C. Actually, it's kind of an instrumental section after that. Now, another way you could kind of back up that chord progression though is to use bigger chords. Like we got the E minor that we could kind of fill in like anytime we want to when the E minor chord's going on. For the C chord, actually, I'm kind of hearing a C minor in the recording, and this is a little weird. You could take your the way you play C minor traditionally. You take your first finger and you bar on the 3rd fret. 2nd finger on the B string on the 4th fret, 3rd finger on the D string on the 5th fret, and the pinky on the G string on the 5th fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. Now, a lot of times with bar chords, though, you can take the top few strings and make smaller versions of that chord. So another way to play C minor is to take the first finger and play just the high E string on the 3rd fret, 2nd finger on the B string on the 4th fret, and 3rd finger on the G string on the 5th fret. And if you kind of strum just the G, B, and E, kind of the skinny 3 strings, actually that's another way to play C minor. And if you're a little bit more adventurous, you could keep the first finger on the high E 3rd, 2nd finger on the B string 4th, and take the 3rd finger and go to the D string on the 5th fret. And then take the pinky and go to the G string on the 5th fret. And you get a little bit thicker C minor that way. Now another option, and this is playing against the tune actually, is to back it up with a C major chord. So if you wanted to on the C's, if you wanted to really brighten that up a lot, you can play a C major chord. And the way you play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you kind of strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord. And when you're working your own arrangements of things, you may even want to change between those C chords while the C chord's going on. So you may even start out with like a C5 deal, maybe figure with a C minor, maybe brighten it to a C major, and you go back to C minor. It could be a very, very, very cool thing to kind of try as you're kind of designing how you're going to do that. And then when we're going to go to the D5 power chord, you could play a D major chord. And when you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, the 2nd finger is going to go to the high E on the 2nd fret, the 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of skinny 4 strings, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Another way to play the D actually that I really kind of like because we're working a lot of drones actually is working off the C shape, and it's something I call D add 4. So if you took the C major chord that we were on and slid it over 2 frets, that would be another way to play your D major chords actually, and a lot of times that could be substituted if you dig that sound. So now I got first finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, 2nd finger on the D on the 4th fret, and 3rd finger on the A string on the 5th fret. Still kind of working the open E. So you may want to think about doing that C chord, sliding over to the D chord at some point, or making that D change. And then for the E flat major, now one possibility would be, since we're talking about sliding that shape, is to slide over 1 more fret. So now I got, and this sounds really nasty, but we talked about the E flat, kind of you really want nasty. So you got first finger on the B string on the 4th fret, 2nd finger on the D on the 5th fret, 3rd finger on the A string on the 6th fret. It's kind of a substitute for the E flat. Now a little bit clearer E flat would be if you took the C minor shape we were on and took your pinky, and instead of going to the G string on the 5th fret, if you put them on the A string on the 6th fret. So it's a C shape, but move to the 3rd fret. And and that's another way to play E flat major. So you got a second finger, so bar third, right? Second finger on the B string on the fourth, third finger on the D string fifth, pinky on the A string on the sixth. This is something actually shape-wise and stretch-wise. You may really want to watch your thumb and try and keep them to the right of where the bar is, so you can use your wrist for the pressure. And you may want to play around with head angle, because the higher the head is, actually the easier that shape gets. You can even go cello position if you wanted to. You can just kind of experiment with the difference in the left hand. Actually, the main two things with left hand always actually is where your thumb is and how high is your head. But so anyway, from there, from that E flat major, another way to do the E flat major, speaking of the sliding things, is you can take the D major and slide it over one fret. And then that would be another way to play E flat major. So you got first finger on the G string, third fret, second finger on the high E on the third finger on the B string on the fourth fret. And if you wanted to, you could even do that with all the strings. You just don't care. It'll sound nasty. So you'd have D, E flat. Could be a really nasty 20th century tonality kind of chord. So if we kind of took it through that verse with our bigger chords, actually, you'd have E minor with a down, down, up, down. Actually, since we're vamping on the E minor, we're talking about other chord possibilities. Let's talk about some other E minors too. So while you're on the E minor, one thing you can do is you can take the pinky and go to the B string on the third fret, and that's something called E minor 7. If you wanted to, you could do that with the third finger and kind of get the pinky to go to the high E on the third fret. So now I got first finger on the A string second, second finger on the D string second, third finger on the B string third, pinky on the high E string third. That's another way to play E minor 7. Another one of my favorite E minor chords actually is if you kind of take the E minor shape and then add in the high E on the second fret. That's something called E minor 9. So you got first finger on the A string second, second finger on the D string second, third finger on the high E second. And another E minor that I kind of dig on sometimes is taking the third finger going to the B string on the second fret, which is the E minor 6. And so it's all kind of around the E minor. So you may want to just experiment with those different sounds while you're vamping on the E minor. It might be cool to kind of play around with some different possibilities, or even combinations of those notes that we're talking about. Could be an interesting thing to play around with. So you can kind of make the E minor chord kind of speak for you in a way, kind of experiment with different E minor chords. Kind of get some melody lines going on with that. Experiment with that, you can kind of get that melody line going on with that too. So we tried our verse kind of using some other chord possibilities. We'd have E minor down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, up, C, C, running that D, E flat at the end, so we have E minor down, down, up, down, 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 C minor, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, E flat. And then from there we're going into an instrumental section that's kind of like that, so just to play around with that idea a little bit more. We got E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, minor down, down, up, down, minor down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, up, down, E flat. I'm throwing in some extra downs there to build up some pressure. And then from there we'll be going into our next verse. So we kind of took that idea and tried it through our next verse. E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, C. Actually, we end up going to the E flat, E flat, and then we'd be going into our chorus part. And on our chorus part, we start on the E minor chord, we do that 4 4 times, just like the first part. And then we go to the C, but then we end up going to a B chord. So you could do this as a B5, doing first finger on the A string on the 2nd fret, third finger on the D string on the 4th fret. Kind of where the B5, you could even do that with the drone if you're kind of digging on that drone idea of leaving the E's open. Or you could play a B7 chord, and one way to play B7 is you go first finger on the D string 1st fret, 2nd finger on the A string 2nd, 3rd finger on the G string 2nd, and the pinky on the high E on the 2nd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a B7 or a B dominant 7 chord. It sounds nasty, and it's kind of supposed to. Another way to kind of do that, if you're digging on the bar chords actually, or a more traditional B7 shape as a bar chord would be 7th fret bar across the entire guitar, 2nd finger on the G string 8th fret, and 3rd finger on the A string on the 9th fret. So you could kind of bring that B7 too, if you're kind of digging on that. You can even make it a another B7 actually, but taking the pinky and kind of adding it on the B string, actually on the 10th fret. So that might be something else you want to kind of play around with too. So if we took through our chorus part with kind of working some of those chords, we'd have E minor down, down, up, down, 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 C down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, E down, down, up, down, we're back to E minor down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, and then from there we'd be going back into another verse actually. And so if we tried to kind of those other let's see, one other thing that I like adding to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times, especially if you're strumming just the more traditional chords, you can add in a bass note for the chord and then do your down up up down up. So on the E minor you'd have low E string for your bass, and then your down up up down, E minor low E bass down up down, E minor low E bass down up down, E minor low E bass down up down. On the D chord you'd have the D string for your bass on that chord. And on the E flat, you could work the D string or the low E string if you're doing that D-shaped sliding, or if you're doing the C-shaped sliding, your bass would be on the A string. That's kind of nasty. If you're doing the bars or the bar chord, like on the 3rd fret of the E flat, you'd have the A string for the bass on that. And then for our drone D chord, where it's the C shape, you'd actually have the A string for that. So the D add 4 would be A string bass. And then on the E minor, we got the low E string for the bass. But on the B chord, we'd have the A string for the bass for the root position B7. And we'd have the low E string for the root if you're doing the bar B7. So there's a couple different ways to kind of do that. But if we took that next verse and tried it with our bass note idea, we'd have E minor low E bass down, up, down, 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 C with an A 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 bass down, up, down, and then from there, then we'd be going into another chorus part. So we try our chorus with our bass notes. We'd have E minor low E bass down, up, down, 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 C with an A bass down, up, down, C with an A bass down, up, down, B7 with an A bass down, up, down, B7 with the bass down, up, down, E minor low E bass down, up, down, E minor bass down, up, down, E minor bass down, up, down, E minor bass down, up, down, and then we kind of vamp on the E minor at the end, just on the E minor, and then we kind of come in with kind of that chorus part repeated for our outro, actually, kind of the 4 E minors, 2 C's, and 2 B's, actually, and that last idea of that last chorus, or the middle idea of that last chorus. So if we tried that with just our down, down, up, down, just to review all the different ways we've been talking about, you got E minor down, down, up, down, 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 C minor down, down, up, down, C minor down, down, up, down, B7 down, up, down, B7 down, down, up, down, or if we tried that with our bass idea, we have E minor bass down, up, down, 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 C with an A bass down, up, down, C with an A bass down, up, down, D with an A bass down, up, down, D with an A bass down, up, down. Oh, that's a cool voicing too, actually. If you take the actually the B7 chord that we were on as a bar, and took the pinky and put them on the D string on the 9th fret, and then kind of lifted off the bar. So now I'm just doing first finger on the low E string. That's kind of a drone B major chord, which you could also use for the B chord actually, which would be very cool. And for the C or the C minor, you might want to think about just taking that shape and sliding over one fret. And from where we are, actually, I got first finger on the low E8, third finger on the A string 10, pinky on the D string 10, and second finger on the G string 9. It's kind of a drone C major chord. If you wanted to make that a minor, you'd actually take the second finger and go down one fret. So you kind of be working on it's like an 8th fret thing, which sounds really nasty actually with the open E, because that's the third that you're changing. But that might be kind of an interesting voicing. It's kind of like the bar chord that we're doing, but just not worrying about the bar. So you just leave the A and the B open. So the drone voicings could be cool for the song too, actually. That gets a little tricky then. Let's see, you have that C. Kind of end it, and then we start that over. E minor. E minor. C. So you kind of take those ideas to the power chord. Play around with that to kind of say some stuff in between too. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Now the weird part is to play along with Depeche Mode, you'll have to tune down your guitar. So don't forget to go E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, E flat. But that's the basics of how you can strum along with Halo by Depeche Mode. So good luck.